All right, everybody, and welcome to Q&A here at the Dice Tower. It is May 8th, exactly noon, in the year of our Lord 2023. All right, well, we are a week and 3 or 4 days from the 24-hour marathon, so looking forward to playing games, or 36-hour marathon, looking forward to playing games during that time frame. And got off a weekend here of kind of an easy-going weekend to some degree. I played a lot of AN Trespass Odyssey over the weekend, played some games with my kids. We went and watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which I'll talk about in Board Game Breakfast next week. Yeah, it was a good weekend. And now we got a lot of stuff to do this week. So this video is specifically for questions about all sorts of things. Let's jump right into them. Let's see here. Did I watch the coronation of King Charles? I turned it on briefly at some point. I was on the internet and I was like, coronation. I turned on and saw a bunch of different people marching around on the streets. And I thought, and I sat there and thought for a while about the different uniforms. And there's a variety of just ornate, interesting uniforms. And I thought, I wonder where all it comes from. And then I thought, I don't care that much. And that was the end of it. I didn't actually watch the coronation. So, sorry. Let's see where we at. Why can we see the whole light switch? Well, why not? Just realized my hat here is falling apart. Why is that? There we go. Gonna have to snap that in place a little bit. Still not looking good. Well, I can do this. This will not look great, but it will look better than nothing. There we go. Oh, because the sign is normally there, but I moved the sign down. Anywho, is Dice Tower Crew going to Essen this year? Some of us will be there. Any plans for you to do a rapid-fire roundup? Not particularly anytime soon. I'm doing a 6 games I played so you don't have to, which is normally where my rapid-fire roundups end up. If it's, I'll do one eventually, if I catch up on games other people have played and or reviewed, but I'm usually so far doing so many of my own. Skyrim is possible for me to play, but don't look forward to me trying it anytime soon. Alrighty. Hello, my wife and I are trying to make a board game. We have an idea, then plan, but we don't know where to start to make it. Do you recommend where to begin? Well, I mean, I would start playtesting it with people. There are playtesting conventions. There are playtesting groups online. I would start there and go from that point, honestly. See what people think of the game, who are not your friends, what they think of the game. What are your thoughts on the Mythic Games contribution issue with 6 Siege? You didn't cover it on the news and you aren't planning to touch it. Well, I don't normally cover news of this sort. So in this case, so we try not to be a muckraking news source. And people are always like, hey, you need to say that these people did this and these people did this and these people did this. Just not what the Dice Tower does. First of all, we don't always have the whole story. We don't know everything that's going on. And once many, many years ago, almost 20 now, I publicly took a side in a stance that I found out later was incorrect, and I don't like that at all. That being said, specifically in this case, I backed 6 Siege. Mythic Games asked me for more money. I was like, no. Sunk cost fallacy. No way. If you're going to take my money and you want more money. Now, if they had asked in a way that was, I think like Oathsworn was like, hey, if you guys can send any extra money, that would really help us out. That's fine. Mythic was like, you are making a contribution. If you don't, you won't get your game. I'm like, oh, you're holding my game hostage? Well, then I'm out. Not to mention Mythic has been sending me like 2 emails every day about I should buy their games and I could sell them on a second market, and it's just kind of leaving a bad taste in my mouth. So that's all I know on a personal level. Those are my thoughts. I'm not doing it. If I never get the game, so be it. Will I back another Mythic game? Not a chance. So there's that. Wendy has a rapid fire roundup this week, right? That is correct. I know you're not big on TCGs. Well, I'm not saying that. I'll play news TCGs if I think they're interesting. I played the Transformers one. It's just that the themes don't normally interest me. Like the Sorcery TCG, that doesn't really interest me that much. Have I seen the announcement of Prelude 2 for Terraforming Mars? Yes. Just think about that name. It's amazing. Prelude 2. Is it a prequel? Is it a sequel? What is it? We'll talk more about it in the news later on. Hello, says Melody. Hello, says Dad. Are you the tallest of all your siblings? I am. Both my brothers are 6 foot, I think. I'm 6'4". But both of them also are much better shape than I am and are younger, and they can both beat me up. My sisters are, they're not, I don't think any of them, they're like normal height, I suppose. I don't actually know how tall my sisters are. They're not like super tall. Have you seen new releases come up that look promising? Indeed, that is the whole point of our channel. So when you're looking for new games, this is what I recommend. And we do lots of videos on the channel. Look at our week in review. We put that up every Monday morning. Go through that. And then if anything there sounds interesting, watch the full review for it. Any plans for Laura for Mother's Day this weekend? I don't know. She ain't my mother. My plans are, like every dad's plans are, to kick the kids' gear into action so that they will do something for Mother. But yeah, that's something that's for them to decide. Looking forward to seeing you at Dice Tower East. Hooray! Don't forget, Dice Tower East has only 60-ish tickets left. I'm assuming some have sold since this morning. And folks, I'm not kidding. Last week there was 100. This week there's 65. But as of this morning, they are going to sell out. Do not delay if you want to come. It's going to be fantastic. Do you use any board games to teach concepts in school, homeschool? I do, and if you look up, I think, gamesandeducation.com, it will point you to some of the ways I've done that. Best for bag pulling, plastic chips or wooden chips? I think I like wooden better. A lot of people are asking, and I'll just say this now. If you ask me, when is a review coming? Who's going to review this? When is this going to be reviewed? The answer is, I don't know. In our board game breakfast each week, we tell you what's coming up that week, and that's the farthest I'll ever give people because we don't know. There's people playing games. We have a gazillion games that we're getting. There's constant game playing. I play games over the weekend. I'm playing games tomorrow night. I'm playing games on Thursday. I'm playing games Saturday. Next week I'm playing games. But who knows when they'll be reviewed. Is there a list of Dice Tower East hot games? There's not a complete list yet because it's not 100% done. Will Distilled be one? And the answer to that is yes. Are there going to be any sort of entry fees for the Level Up Games meetup in Atlanta? I don't think so, unless they're doing something, but I don't believe so. Looking forward to the first Dice Tower Con in July. Badge, hotel, flight, check. Hoping I can meet the crew. Well, you can meet them. If you don't meet me, it's because you're not looking for me. I definitely walk around the convention. I'll be at the newcomers event. I will be at registration or the library when it first opens. I'll be at the library. And so the Dice Tower people will be around. I mean, you're not going to see them all the time. They have lives and they're going to go do stuff. But we'll be around as much as we can. Can we get a top 100 from Joey? That is on the way. Greetings from Iceland. How's your new van? Seems good. We have some things to fix on it. We have some knobs. We had to buy some keys. Now we need to buy some bolts for it. But once all that stuff's done, then we're going to start getting ready to load it up. I'm going to Dice Tower East for the first time. Could you briefly explosion the flea market? I will explode that flea market. A place to sell your old board games, and that's what it is. It's a place for people to sell games. And you have to buy a table. So they'll put tables on sale at some point. I don't know. You have to check out, there'll be information about that. You buy a table, and then you'll be able to put your games there and sell them. I will tell you what I tell everyone, and which almost no one ever listens to: bring games to sell them. Do not bring games that you then truck home. I've never understood that. People bring games in, they'll price them $5 below what a new game costs, or even 50% of what a new game costs. The majority of games do not sell very well once they've been out for a while. I would come and bring them and say, hey, they will go. I will sell them all. I know this because I do that. But anyone can participate, but you have to have the tables, and they'll go on sale at some point. Why does no one ever talk about Cthulhu Realms? I don't know. Why doesn't anyone talk about it? Who's your favorite Massive Darkness hero? I have no idea. I mean, I know my favorite class is. It's the Necromancer. Will there be a ranking of them? Probably not. My family's considering booking Dice Tower Cruise, but it looks like there's a discrepancy with the ship. Is it the Oasis or the Explorer? Doesn't it say on the website? I mean, you have to book through us, so it's not like you're going to get the wrong ship. If you book the ship without going through us, then you're not part of Dice Tower Cruise. It says Oasis here on the website, so I'm assuming it's the Oasis. I'm not actually quite sure your question is. We're trying to learn kids clubs ages 1 to 5. You mean what they do for that? Each ship is slightly differently. Are you excited for the new Zelda release this Friday? We are. My kids are excited. Everyone's excited. Have I avoided any trailers in case of spoilers? I watched the last trailer, which was the guy from Nintendo was explaining how to play and how you put the weapons and stuff together. I didn't think it was very spoilery at all. I'm not reading any reviews or anything. I will as time goes by because I can't help myself. But for now, when we first play it, it's going to be a lot of fun. When is the next trip to Arkansas to collaborate with content creators there? Maybe those Arkansas content creators need to come down to Florida. Almost every content creator for board games is relying on Kickstarter or Patreon or a similar model. Do you think the industry will expand to where this is no longer needed, similar to IGN or GameSpot? Are you sure that that's what you want the industry to go to? First of all, IGN and GameSpot are constantly laying people off all the time. Just read online. It's constantly going on. And they're also, the big sites, I mean, video games have just as many people who rely on Patreon and Kickstarter and that much stuff also. There's tons of them out there. So I'm not particularly sure that the industry will this gets to a point where that's no longer needed. I think I like it, though, a little bit. Don't get me wrong. Doing the Kickstarter is a pain in the neck every year. But at the same time, there's some joy, a lot of joy, in knowing that we're giving the customers what they want. I can't imagine giving GameSpot any of my money. I don't care. I go there, look for a review. There's ads blinking all over the place. I mean, I don't mind ads, but ads everywhere, just hammering home all the time. I don't feel any connection to the people who write or do the reviews. But I go watch someone on YouTube who might do here's how to play Elden Ring, and this is the way to do better at it. And I know that person, I might be inclined to support them. Have you ever done any woodworking? I did woodworking when I was a kid. My dad liked doing woodworking, but it was never anything particular. I built a birdhouse for my mom, but I don't remember much more than beyond that. Eat anything good this weekend? I did. I had some tandoori shrimp, and I do love tandoori shrimp. Let's see here. What is the next Marvel movie or series you're looking forward to the most, or are you getting burned out on Marvel content? I'm kind of at a standstill with Marvel content at the moment. The next two things are these Secret Wars, I think, which I'm kind of interested in, but not really. Secret Wars was very interesting as a comic because you're like, is Captain America a bad guy or not? If it's just Nick Fury running around, it's just like, it doesn't feel like it's very superhero-y, then that's not exciting to me. The Marvels, so far I'm not very excited by that. I'm excited about the new Avengers whenever they get around. But right now, I feel after watching Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I feel very content with Marvel. I don't need Marvel stuff. I mean, with Endgame, when we were done with Endgame, I told the kids we never have to see another movie the rest of my life. And I mean that. I'll see more movies, but nothing will ever top that experience for me. They're taking their dear sweet time getting the X-Men out. So, I don't know. Whatever. Which nations do you think punch above their weight in the terms of quality, quantity of games they put out? U.S., Germany are obvious examples where they should do well, but that ain't surprise you. No, I don't actually understand that question. I mean, I think you're trying to say, like, hey, this is a nation that's a small nation, but they do better than U.S., but this is all very subjective, and I don't know that it's true. I really think that it's pretty much across the board. It's not so much how big the nation is, it's how long have they been doing it. Jordan says, everyone feels their games are worth more than they are. True. If you're really trying to sell games, price them to move. I will never understand that and why people don't do that. You drag all these games to a flea market, you put them up, you sell a few, you drag them all the way back. Just sell them. You're storing them in your house. It's a garage. Same as when you go to garage, you have a garage sale. Price stuff to get out. I mean, and if you don't sell it, then you're throwing it away probably, right? I don't get it. Is there a big name game you regret not having covered on your channel or yourself personally? No, there isn't. I mean, we can't get to everything. We try. We review more games than, well, everyone else combined. And we still can't get to all of them. We try. We can't. I cannot sit around regretting that we haven't covered something. Going to Gen Con for the first time this year. Any events we should look out for, other than y'all's, of course? Thank you. Come to Dice Tower Awards Thursday night. Is anyone coming to that? I'm going to go look at that now. I'm going to see if anyone's coming to Gen Con events. Let's see. View events. Let's search by awards. Oh, there's a lot of events that are... Oh, there's really that many? We'll search by Dice Tower. Okay, there we go. Dice Tower Awards 2023. How do I find out? Now they're making me sign in. I accept that. I am 18 years and older. Yes. Says there's still 1,000 tickets. You mean no one has bought a ticket? Oh, maybe no one has. That seems weird. You think at least one person would have bought a ticket. Interesting. Yeah, well, whatever. I'm not going to get too caught up in that. Who knows? Anyway, other events you should go to. I don't know, actually. I don't do a ton of events at Gen Con myself, so I would have to go through the schedule and look at it. I will at some point and look at all the different things happening, and maybe I'll be able to give you more of information on that at some point. Any special board games old out of print that you would love to see in the flea market? Not particularly. I'm pretty immune to buying games. I haven't bought any games in like the last 5 flea markets. No, that's not true. I bought one in the last one at the... I didn't buy it. It was given to me, but I got one. But usually I don't, because if I want a game for the library and I'm like, I really want that game for the Dice Tower library, then I'll put it in the Dice Tower library. Favorite Mario Kart racer is Donkey Kong. Are we going to PAX this year? We will not be at PAX this year. As a deacon, do you have any theological issues that have prevented you from playing or enjoying a game? That's possible. That may have come up, but it has nothing to do with me being a deacon. I think the word there would be as a Christian. Has nothing to do with whether I'm a deacon or not. Do you have any experience with how the kids' clubs are for ages 1 to 5 on Dice Tower Cruise? I don't know. So I should say I don't know. It's been a while since I've had a kid under 5. Jimmy is 9 now, so for the last 9, 8, 7, 6, he's been able to go to the kids' club. I think for 1 to 5, I don't think they have babysitting on a cruise. I don't think. I might be wrong, so you have to check the cruise. But on the ships I went to, there was an area you could take them and be with him, like in a little play area. But I don't believe they kept the babies for you, I think. I think they had to be potty trained. I might be wrong. I don't remember all the information. But you can look it up on Royal Caribbean's website. Regarding the question on need for Kickstarter, it was more from the content creator's point of view, as in you no longer have to worry about funding once a year. Well, no, I get that, but I don't know that I would still like that because then I would have to please my editor. But yeah, don't get me wrong. If I could make the Dice Tower work from all of our conventions, if they made enough money in our advertising, which we're working on bringing that stuff up and making more money from that so that we don't have to run the Kickstarter, but we are not there yet. Shamans versus inside job. I saw some people talking about that in the chat, and even though they're both trick taking and they're both social deduction, they feel very different in many ways, and I don't know that I would compare them other than say they're in the same genre. But Shamans is a longer, more involved game. Inside job is really quick, so I wouldn't really compare the two of them. When was the last time you rode a ferry? I guess the one that just the Maid of the Mists. That's technically a ferry, right? Did I ride another ferry? I know I got in a boat for some reason. Why was I in a boat? We all got in a boat. Oh yeah, it was from the cruise ship. Back and forth on the cruise ship. Do you do any paid advertising on social media for Dice Tower West, Dice Tower East? We have a convention in November and interested to know the most effective way or what platforms. Well, I mean, we advertise ourselves, right? We've done social media advertising. I don't know particularly how effective it is, but what is effective is we have our own channel, so that's what we push. So I'm probably not the best person to ask in that regard. Colby Creator Summoner Wars is playing against fans every weekday. Are you going to play him one of these days? Maybe. I don't play online games with other people almost ever. Which directors could breathe new life into the MCU? I don't necessarily care about directors. Let's just do some interesting stories. Thank you, Dom, for the very nice words. My kids love board games, but their friends don't. The only person they play with is me. There are no clubs or places to meet. Recommendation. All right, this seems like a pretty nice setup you have here. Then let them play games with you. I'm not sure what your recommendation you're asking for. Tom, any talk about doing reviews for each hero from Marvel Zombicide like you did for Marvel United? No, I mean, I like Marvel Zombicide not as much as I like Marvel United. Also, I haven't got Marvel Zombicide all the heroes yet. Is that out? Are people getting it? I haven't heard about it. Let's see here. Having a board game night with fellow faculty colleagues soon. What game would you introduce to educators? Whatever game I thought they might like. I'm not being facetious here, but I don't think their job would affect what game I brought to them. What am I going to do, a Dice Tower werewolf game? Yeah, you know what? I mean, this is good that you mentioned it here because honestly, it just slips my mind. Last night would have been a great night to have done it. We'll see. I'll consider it. How do you like YouTube's new format? I guess I'm always confused. Is there a new format on YouTube? I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm not seeing anything different. What's the new thing? You have to be more specific. So did all form of XCOM drop off your top 10 video games? Oh, well, come on. It's number 11 or something. It was really close. That's all. I still like XCOM a lot. I remember seeing a Dice Tower Seal of Excellence on Master of Ryan at work, so I checked the review and bought the game. It was cheap. What a great game. Hooray! Event registration for Gen Con opens May 21st at noon. That's why no one's bought a ticket. Good point. I remember they were announcing that it would go live tomorrow or yesterday or over the weekend. I didn't realize it was just going live so people could look at it. But that's not a bad way to do things. I'm guessing there's someone from the crew watching live now because from the other time the microphone ran out of batteries. Yes. Also, I'm very cognizant of the battery thing. We're not going to UK Games Expo this year. Sorry. Anything you could advise for organizing a board game retreat? Make sure your contract with the hotel is rock solid. Favorite Zelda game excluding Breath of the Wild? Well, that would be Link to the Past. Right? That's the Super NES one. Yeah, Link to the Past. Such a great Zelda game. Top 3 video game theme songs. Well, Zelda is number 1. Straight up. I love the Zelda theme song. I have half a mind to say the opera scene from Final Fantasy VI. But that's not quite true. But Final Fantasy VI has some great music. Skyrim has really good music. That new Hades game I was playing, that has some pretty good music. But Zelda's number 1. I also really like the music in the new Mario games, Mario Odyssey. Mario big band style, big bands playing Mario is fantastic. Now people are going to be filling the comments with their favorite video game music. So, well, that's what it is. Do you have any advice for someone trying to trade games on Board Game Geek? I never trade. I would rather just sell and buy. It's just easier to me that way. What is the lightest Vitel Lacerda game? Oh, probably that market game, Mercado de Lisboa. Probably, I'm assuming that's his lightest game. Melody says there is no babysitting, but there is an area for certain times of the day to play ages 0 to 3. Yeah, I remember that. We did that with Jimmy. But that was a long time ago. Is there anyone you take more satisfaction in defeating in a game than anyone else? Oh, yeah, but it's not any one person, but there's like a group of 10 people that, if I beat them in a game, I'm like, yes. So, I'm not going to say who those people are. Very few of them work for the Dice Tower. But there's a few people when I beat them, I'm like, but usually it's because A, the person's very smart. B, they make sure that you know it. C, they win almost every time. So when you beat them, it feels better. But for the most part, I don't really care if I win or lose. Does Dice Tower have Discord? It's opening up very soon. In fact, later on this week, I'll probably be messing around with it. So be prepared for it to be open soon. Part 1. I hope someday there are talk segments on your channel that cover on broader issues such as how social issues are tackled in games or how board games can become more environment friendly. And then he mentions in part 2 that Rodney did that. Then let Rodney do it. It's fine. We talk about things occasionally on our channel. We have a discussion topic on Board Game Smorgasbord, and occasionally I feel strongly about something. I'll make a whole video about it. but for the most part, other people are doing that. So our main goal on this channel is to talk about games. Whatever people handle all that stuff, and social, environmental friendly, whatever. I'll let other people handle that. We are covering the games themselves. Are they fun? Recently, I've been reading a lot of people have been talking about how board game criticism is terrible and it's all just fluff and nonsense, and it's not fun, and it's not all about fun, and we should be looking for higher criticism. And what I can say to those people is, get out of my hobby, for goodness sake. We're here to have fun. And I will not be belittled for having fun. That's nonsense. We are here, we talk about board games, we do top 10s, but I'm never going to pretend that board games are anything more than a tool and a toy. They're a tool to work and have fun with other people, and they're a toy. Yes, you can learn from them, they're educational, they can teach things, they can do all this sort of stuff, and that's fantastic. But they're a toy at the end of the day. Just like the Super Soaker is a toy, just like Nintendo's a toy, just like Etch-a-Sketch is a toy, yada, yada, yada. And I will not sit here and act like my job is foolishness because I sit here and say, this game's fun, and I didn't have fun playing this game. Because that sort of thing helps people. And I can live with all that nonsense when people go, oh, criticism and stuff. When I go to a convention, someone comes to me and says, our family found a really fun game that we played together and had a great time, and we grew together as a family, and we found it because of your channel. That means something to me. Someone coming up to me and going, well, you didn't talk about the philosophy and stuff behind this game. Do not care! There are plenty of people who do. That's great. And there's deeper criticisms. That's fine. I don't mind that stuff exists. But I will not understand why I have to be the one to do that. I just want to tell you if games are fun or not. And if you think that is light and pithy, that's fine. But I have so much fun playing with my family, my extended family, and my friends. I've met people from all over the world, and we have a fantastic time. And we did all that without deeper board game criticism, and I think we're okay. All right. Oh, I got watching Dice Tower because of the Trey Parker video. Oh, that's cool. What Marvel character would you like to see at MCU? The X-Men! Stop! Where's the X-Men? Alrighty. Let's see here. Has anyone seen you at a FLG or a board game store and asked you, I like how you said, a friendly local game or a board game store. I think those are the same, but I might be wrong. And asked you for a game recommendation. Yeah, that's happened a few times, but I really try hard not to do it. I might walk up and I've seen some people like struggling sometimes. So if that happens, I might walk up and be like, hey, I know a lot about these different games. Is there something you're looking for? I might do that, but it feels a little pretentious, so I try not to do it too often. A follow-up to last week's 3 wrestlers, you think it's changed from then? My favorite oldie TV show, like old-time shows? I like I Love Lucy a lot. I like the Dick Van Dyke Show. I like, not Leave It to Beaver, Dennis the Menace. I always like that old show. See, I don't know what you consider to be old now. You said Happy Days and Cheers, and they're not that old, but oh, they are! Ah! Any plans to up your game in arcade baseball? I was pretty terrible, but I was better in Space Invaders. I don't know anyone talking about that. Have you played Midnight Suns yet? I played very little of it. So far I'm enjoying it, but I need to get more into it. Do many kids come to Gen Con? Not a ton, but there's a decent amount there. I see kids all over the place. Lots of parents bring kids, especially Sunday. There's a lot of kids there. In fact, lots of kids come by the booth. I don't know. It's just not overrun with kids, I guess. But I don't think your 10-year-old son would be out of place. I would definitely keep one eye on them, and because it's super crowded there. But that's about it. I have not yet seen the D&D movie. What sort of activities at convention work great for kids ages 4 to 8? Pitch card, tumbling dice. What other group activities are great hits with kids? I don't know, but I'd make sure there's kids involved in those. Be very cautious about throwing a kid into a game, let's say like Werewolf. It always throws a tenor off if you have a group of adults and then there's a kid there in the mix. They don't know that kid. They're not going to sit there and call that kid a liar. It's kind of a weird situation, so you got to be cautious of that. Have I voted in the Golden Geek Awards? I have not, actually. I mean, I have in the past, but I did not this year. I guess I could. Why has no one made a Metal Gear Solid Hidden Movement board game? They have. It's not called that, but it's... someone in comments help me out here. Emerson Matsuchi. Will Dice Tower Retreat have additional iterations? The limited number of badges sold out in seconds, and it seems that this pool will just get smaller due to priority given to previous attendees. I agree, although I feel that it's fair to do that. This is a conundrum that we are still working on. Let's see here. Did you ever, without being specific, cheat in a board game? And if so, which game? You just said, don't be specific. Yes. But not against you or anyone else, really. I was a kid once like everybody else. Do you wear shorts in the summer, or do you keep it classy with pants and dress shirts? I wear shorts occasionally. It may look like I never do, and I very rarely do. I own 2 pairs, I think. I own 1 pair of khaki shorts and then a pair of sports shorts, and I own swim trunks, but that is it. Regarding my earlier question on doing sayings on broad talk, it wasn't meant as criticism. Oh, no, and I don't take it as a criticism either. And I don't mean to. You got me going on my my rant about. I've been reading a lot of people who are like, oh yes, these channels that just talk about if board games are fun or not. No, but I also think we do talk about topics once a week. I just don't want to get so caught up in the weeds about that. Topics are interesting. We should talk about them occasionally. I don't have no problem with that. But I think I don't want to ever lose focus on what we're actually doing, which is about games. Any suggestion on how to deal with people who come to open board game nights but are a black hole when it comes to fun? Well, if you're the one inviting people, I would stop inviting that person. I might specifically tell them why, but that's a tough thing. If someone is a black hole of fun, sometimes you got to talk to them specifically. Do you need us to Uber Eats, DoorDash, etc.? Y'all some coffee or tea during marathon? I think we're going to need more than that. We'll have coffee and tea here, and food. Food is where I'm going to go get some food beforehand. Will you ever get a new top 10 book? Oh, I found the top 10 book. I just don't do top 10s here anymore. The top 10 book is now used for our top 3s on our smorgasbord each week. Let's see here. Did I see Heat crack the top 100? Did it already? That's very impressive. Let me look at that. Is it number 100? No, it's number 99. That's very impressive. Did any other 2022 games hit the top 100? I'm looking. I don't. Well, actually, I should just do a search for 2022. All right, how many games from 2022 onward have hit the top 100? Heat, pedal to the metal. Number 1, that's 99. 116 is Frosthaven. 137 is Carnegie, and I don't think Carnegie is going to go higher than that. That's already higher than I thought it would go. 231 Nemesis, 239 Wonderland's War, 270 Endless Winter, 274 Oathsworn, 280 Splendor Duel, 347 Return to Dark Tower, 369 Longshot, 372 Plan Unknown, 375 Earth. I think Earth will hit the top 100. Because that's Earth's doing pretty good considering it's only been out for like 3 months. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Well, congratulations to Heat. Not to the game, to the designers, I suppose. Spectre Ops is the game you were asking about before. Thank you. I don't know why that name always slips my mind. Spectre Ops is that Metal Gear Solid, the board game. Now, I mean, Emerson was actually working on Metal Gear Solid, but that never happened. But Spectre Ops feels very much like it. Do you know the winners of the Dice Tower Game Awards before they're revealed, or do you get to know at the same time as us? Well, I used to wait till they were revealed. In fact, you can tell there's we did them live in Dice Tower, and I was finding out at the same time as everybody else. However, due to a lot of different things, in fact, mostly me being very, very involved in the awards, I now need to know ahead of time, mostly because of getting speeches and things together like that. Don't worry, I'm a locked box when it comes to giving out that information to other people. Will marbles be part of the 36-hour bonanza? No, they won't, because we're not going to be moving cameras around or anything. Sorry. Have you ever realized too late that the game you were playing was broken? Well, I mean, it's always too late. You're like, oh, this doesn't work. This happened to me over the weekend. I was playing a game with my kids, and I was like, this is broken. When will there be a Dice Tower cruise west? Miami is too far. No, it's not. Miami is 1 hour from us. And since we're driving all the games to there and shipping all the games onto the ship and taking the entire Dice Tower staff and bringing equipment and everything else, I think Miami is not too far. You said Dice Tower cruise west? You mean I got to drive, we got to somehow ship stuff 3,000 miles? That seems worse. One pizza every hour, understood. Thank you. Contact me, I'll give you the address. Although that would be weird. Neighbors would be like, what is going on? I think they might think we're doing drugs then. Favorite theme park? Ha, this is easy. My favorite theme park is Aquatica. I love Aquatica. Now, it's a water theme park. It's part of SeaWorld. It's in Orlando. I love it. I love that place. But if you take water parks out of the equation, my favorite theme park is probably Isles of Adventure. No, Universal Studios. It's close. I like them both. But I haven't been to a ton, so I don't know if I'm a good person for that. Tom, when you win a game, but later you realize you did something incorrect that benefited you greatly, how late does that keep you up at night? That might have happened like twice in my life. I tell the other players if it does, but also, I don't win that many games. What silly threat do you use to get your kids to behave? I gotta apologize, I don't not use silly threats. When did you start incorporating a number scale to your reviews? I don't know, over the last years or so. I mean, I've always had a number. I put them on Board Game Geek. Oh, man, the numbers, though, such a pain in the neck. I do them because people want them. But everyone always then complains, well, your review didn't sound like an 8. Then don't look at the number. Just listen to the review. I don't know what to tell you. People worry so much about those numbers. Are you planning to expand the Dice Tower team gradually? Last year, Camilla, this year, Joey. Well, I mean, when we have a hole and stuff, Joey's on part-time right now, and I was not planning to hire anyone new for the Dice Tower this year. And then Mike went to Indianapolis, and I wanted to keep him on, but I wanted to keep someone around here in the office for reviews purposes, and Joey's been doing a great job on that. What are your top 3 elements on the periodic table? I love it. We'll say oxygen, since we need that to breathe. Gold, because I would like to get some of that. And beryllium. I don't know, that just sounds cool. Hi, Tom. I know you tend to enjoy trick-taking games. Can you describe what it is about the mechanism that you tend to enjoy? How does it feel about games that combine it with other mechanisms? I actually kind of like it pure for the most part. I don't know what it is about it. There's something about, there's a comfort level to it, because once you play a lot of trick-taking games, that concept of just sitting back and like, I'll play this if you play that, and sitting there, I don't know how to explain it. It's a vibe. And trick-taking brings that vibe that I really enjoy it. Would you ever join as a guest on a Dungeons & Dragons one-shot? I might. You said you saw Sam at Dice Tower West. How's he doing? Very good. We had a good time talking back and forth. Are you happy with the level of involvement that Dice Tower has with the World Series of Board Gaming? Yeah, and we're going to be more involved with them this year than we were last year. Have you ever played Fire in a Lake? No. What about when you play a hidden traitor game but somehow no one was a traitor? Well, that can happen in a lot of games. When I play Shadows of Camelot now, we always play where there 100% is a traitor. Let's see here. Where did you go on your last family vacation? We haven't, as a family, taken a vacation anywhere since the cruise. We need to go on a vacation. I need to take my family somewhere. It's been a while. Rate the 12 months. Huh. It all depends where you are in your life. Because for me as a kid, June, July, August would be 1, 2, and 3, or 3, whatever those numbers would be. Man, it's hard. I think my favorite month is December now as an adult. December is good because the end of the year is coming. It's busy, but I like Christmas a lot, and my kids come home. Well, at least some of them come home. That's probably going to change as time goes by. I'll see them less and less, but yeah. That's December would be number 1. Number 2, September, probably my birthday. People treat you nice for your birthday, but not just that. I don't have to go back to school anymore, but my kids go back to school, and it just feels, and my college, it's the beginning of a new year, so September. July, Independence Day, it's the middle of summer. Summer's great, Dice Tower Con. August, summer's still in full session. And then June, yeah, I still like the summer months. I still have a good time with them. After that, it's a wash. I don't really care about the months so much. Let's see here. If you're able to disclose, was there any talk of a South Park board game when Trey visited? I'm not able to disclose anything. No, nothing. I actually didn't talk about a South Park board game. Let's see here. Did you enjoy the Daredevil Netflix series? I thought it was okay. Are you hopeful for his next outing with Disney? Not if he's going to act like he acted in She-Hulk. My favorite date is April 25th. Not too hot, not too cold. Yes. Let's see. Just looking here, I think most of these, like I said, I don't really talk too much about specific board games because I rank them normally. So, yeah, we're talking about months. It's hard to rank, really. Things like fall and spring are more comfortable. Well, it's true. Summer, winter have birthdays and Christmas. I don't know. Every month is good. There's some months, like, it would be hard for me to push May because there's so many things happening in May between graduations and school programs and end of the year. Although not being a teacher now makes May way less stressful than it was. Time to stand? Did my watch? You're right, it does say time to stand. How did you guys know that? Maybe I showed it by accident. All right, fine, I'll stand. All right, back to where we were. Does the chief laugh that you think staying up for 36 hours is a big deal since his normal days last far longer? Yeah, that's true. The chief is, well, again, you got to be careful because so on Earth, in this dimension, in this universe, in this time, we have 24-hour days, right? Well, like you stay awake for so many hours, you sleep 6, 7, 8 hours, whatever. But anywhere else you go, it depends. If you're on a different planet, say you're on Reynold 14 in dimension 642, the days are 5 hours. That's, 5 hours, 3 minutes, and 26 seconds. And again, I'm using modern terminology here so you understand. Well, if you're on that, you're not going to sleep at night because night is 2 hours. I find it a little bit disorienting that the sun comes up, sun goes down, sun comes up. And there's a few domes that they have for people who are visiting the planet so that they just keeps it light in there and they regulate it longer. I think they do the standard 20 hours on, 20 hours off, which is what most of the universe does. Our 12-12 is not very common across the universe and dimensions I found. In fact, we may be fairly unique in that regard. But anyway, the people there seem to enjoy it. They like that light on, light on, light on. I find it a little confusing myself, but you just sleep. So you'll be like, I'm going to sleep this week. That's basically what people will say. They don't say week, they say whoosh. I'll sleep this whoosh. Again, the whole language is different, so I'm kind of translating here. But of course, a week there, or that unit they're talking about is 5 of their days. So 5 times 5, 25. So they'll sleep 25 hours straight. It happens. Their sleep cycles are awesome. You know what? This is just too alien for me to kind of translate it. So the answer to your question is yes. Alrighty. Is my family big on camping? I don't think so. I hate it with all my heart. Excited to go to the convention in Brazil. I'm very excited about that. Love the look back videos. A very sneaky way to give us a steady stream of mini reviews. Well, sort of. It's just a way to look back and talk to them. Do you frequent the beach? I do not. Oh, is it always 10 minutes to the end of the hour? I did not know that. Wonder what that reasoning for that is. I'm newer to gaming. Why are there so many great games that are no longer in print, like Shadows over Camelot or Yamatai? Both catalog games, impossible to find without paying a fortune. It's supply and demand. Even though both those games are fairly popular amongst a small group of people, they didn't sell that well, so they're out of print. They might come back in print. They probably won't. So, But eventually somebody will decide to reprint them in the future. You watch. All the other Days of Wonder games are getting reprinted. My favorite month is the Dice Tower Cruise. Wouldn't that be nice if it was a month? Would you prefer seasons or what you have in Florida? You mean where we have just spring and summer? I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Have you guys seen winter? Winter's terrible. Thank you, Francisco, for the nice words. I love hearing stories about the Chief, such a legend. He really is, and it's really important that we remember all that he's done for us sometimes. Have you ever seen Ghibli movies in the theaters? I've not. That must be a cool experience. I've not. Let's see here. When playing new villains in Marvel United, do you play with the same team of heroes as a fixed variable? Almost never. I'm always like, switch to heroes, switch a villain, switch to heroes, switch a villain. That villain just kicked my butt. You get to stay there. The villain's the fixed thing. I'm bringing in 3 more heroes, and these are heroes that are made to beat you because this is going to happen. Winter is pants. I don't like that statement. I think saying something is pants makes no sense because pants are amazing. So why would you say something bad is pants? But winter is terrible. This July, I'm running a board game weekend in my basement. What are some ideas for swag? I get 3D printed dice trays last year and did some engraved first player tokens. Well, it's time to translate to dice towers or play mats. Everyone's talking about whether they hate the cold or not. Who would win in a fight between the Chief and Chuck Norris? Well, actually, the Chief and Chuck Norris once met and went. Now, Chuck Norris is, you know, all those things people say about Chuck Norris in every legend. So this is true across the board when it comes to just things in general. Legends are rooted in fact. You know, there's some sort of thing. So like Paul Bunyan, a giant who chopped down trees, there probably was a guy not that tall and everything. So everyone says everything about Chuck Norris. It's like, well, that must be rooted in something, right? It's not just an internet meme. There's some truth to it. And that's true. There is some truth to it. Now, yes, Chuck Norris pales behind the things that Chief Sokoto can do, but he was a pretty good agent, and we allow his legends to be out there to some degree because it kind of keeps the rest of the agents safe. And who would win to fight the Chief? I've only seen the Chief lose 16 and a half times. I heard the Chief went to a new barbecue restaurant in World of Skelk in Universe number 43. Did you hear how it went? You were just making up stuff. What does that even mean? It sounds like a made-up story. What do you think about automatic card shufflers? They don't work very well. I wish they did. I think they're cool. I would have one just to put cards in just to make people go, "Ah!" As it's like, and you put your new pack of Earth cards in there. Let's see here. Yeah, you can buy swag from the Dice Tower at dicetowerstore.com. Do you hope Bigfoot is real? I actually have. I'm pretty much of a skeptic when it comes to these things. I think that yes, it's possible some things exist. They're like, oh, we discover new species every day. Yeah, but the new species is a very tiny variant on something we already have, and they're usually pretty small. No, I don't think Bigfoot's real. No, I don't think the Loch Ness Monster is real. It'd be cool, but I don't think so. I would never use a card shuffler for anything but regular playing cards or something like Uno or Face Ten that you hope gets damaged. What are your plans for the rest of the day? Well, I can tell you that. When this is over, I got a review. I'm going to be putting a review together. I'll probably do 2 or 3 more reviews over the course of today. And then I'm going to go home and I'm going to eat dinner. And then I'm going to do some things with my kids. Probably I might play a game with my kids. We'll see. Then I'm going to whoop up on Gandhi in Civilization 6. Because, I have some problems. Actually, it's not that big of a deal. But Gandhi is my next door neighbor in Civ 6. He's actually been fairly pleasant. I'm going to whoop him. I've never played a game in Civ 6 where I haven't whooped up on Gandhi. My other neighbor, though, is being more of a pain in my neck, France. France attacked me for no reason. I managed to fight them off with some knights. But now they're my friends, which is weird. The rest of the world, the Russians are really mad at me, and the Russians have captured Delhi, actually, from New Delhi from the Indians. So the Indians are probably more annoyed at the Russians than me. I'm using the Indians as a buffer, but I will become their friend. We will become allies, and then I'm going to whoop on them. But that is many years in the future. I may have talked more about this game than I needed to. So anyway, that's what I'm doing tonight. Then I'm going to bed. Anyhow, thank you everybody for watching. I will see you all next time. That's Q&A for today. We'll be back live. Actually, there's nothing live tomorrow, which is unusual. But we are doing recording and stuff, getting ready. On Wednesday, we got live stuff, crowd surfing. Thursday, we have both Board Game Smorgasbord and our top 10 deck building games. Then next week, we have all kinds of live stuff happening. We got Board Game Breakfast. We have At the Table, Tom and Eric. We have another Q&A. We have crowd surfing. We're playing Apex live. And then, of course, the Thursday, Friday is the marathon. Very exciting all around. So thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time. Until then, I'm Tom Vasel. You've been watching Q&A here on the Dice Tower.